Angibingelele nami nginibingelela nonke. Kade nganigcina channel yesinduna. Bingelele nonke ngithi thokozani nonke, thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu ethi indzaweni tonke, thokoze kumakhehle. Ithi camagu izalukazi, camagu endzaweni tonke. Hayi nami ngiyajabula kuthola leli thuba nje. Ngivame ukuba matasatasa ngasitholi isikhathi sekuthi ngifake nje noma ivideo nje. Sike sikhulume ngendaba tethu lethi Themba Silindza. As I said, most of the time I will mix English with Siswati because of my international audience. So I'll mix. So let me take this opportunity to greet each and every one of you wherever you are, every corner of this world. I greet you. The one who's greeting you, Mkhulu Ben Themba Silindza. Umafavuke njengedangamane. Isihlahla kasishi umtulu kamatekeretane. Angarantima utulatula nyama sengopolo. Ungayiboni izaca ukuthi ugcwele amafutha. Gadlela kandaba inyanga mthakathi. Hayi ngiyanibingelela nonke ngithi hayi sengikhona kwi-channel yesinduna. Ningakhohlwa ke subscribe kuyo le channel isinduna ukuze ukuthi ningashiyeki, so that you won't miss some of the topics that we will come with each and every day. But today I want to talk about healing. I know that healing has got different types of healing. There is healing spiritually, and there's also physically healing, because the body is separated into three. We have got the soul, which goes with the mind, and we have got the spirit, and then we have got the body itself. And then all these things, they sometimes need healing, that they must be healed, because if they're not well, they can also cause some problems to each and every individual. But today I want to concentrate on physical healing, you see, especially now we are in Africa, where they say Africa is where most diseases are found, whereas we know that Africa, before the colonial era, we didn't have diseases as such, and we were able to heal ourselves. But now, as time goes on, we find ourselves in this situation we are in now. So many of the people are very sick now. The only hope people they have got these days is to go to the hospitals, and the hospitals themselves, they are not able to heal them, and they've got not even an intention to heal people. That's why they've come with the term chronic, that people there must be chronic with their disease these days, which are called chronic disease, where a person is bound to eat drugs for the rest of his or her own lives. We have got several diseases, like especially arthritis, we've got diabetes, we have got BP, we have got several diseases that are there, which are considered to be lifestyle disease. Even cancer itself, it's part of a lifestyle disease, and this disease are normally mentioned as diseases that are incurable, that cannot be cured. You see, this disease. So when you have got this disease, then it means for the rest of your life, you are declared chronic. It means for the rest of their life, you have to eat those drugs for the rest of your life. You see, but now I want to say something, especially about us Africans. According to us Africans, we don't have a disease that is incurable. In fact, there's no disease that is incurable. Even I, according to what I believe or what I follow and what I know, is that there is no such things that is called an incurable disease. All disease can be cured. There's nothing called incurable disease. The problem here is that now the world is controlled by one institution, which is the World Health Organization. And the World Health Organization is the one that has got a right to declare a disease curable and a disease incurable. In fact, according to them, there are almost no disease that are curable. All disease, you can just take drugs so that you drug that disease so that you will feel better, you will be able to live with that disease. But though we know here in Africa that there are so many diseases that are curable, so many diseases, even AIDS whatsoever, it's mentioned as a disease that is like a chronic disease where a person is bound to eat those ARVs for the rest of his or her own lives. But I would say there is no disease that is incurable in Africa. It's just that these people, once they themselves, they cannot cure the disease, then they say everyone cannot cure the disease because they control and rule the world, and they think they are the only solemnly right people who have got the solemn right to heal any disease, you see. But when we come to us who are healers, there are so many diseases which they themselves, they claim that those diseases are incurable. But we definitely know that such disease, they can be cured. You know, for each and every disease, there is a plant that the nature has provided for that disease so that that disease will be curable. And I'm telling you, wherever you are sitting, wherever you are, even if today you have got a disease, but let me just tell you that that disease is not incurable, but that disease is curable. It's just that you were meant to be told that now you are a chronic. You know, and according to the system that we are living under, this system wants everyone to be declared chronic so that each and everyone in his back, when he moves around, he must have some sort of drugs that at a certain specific time, you must drug the disease that is within you. But which it's not the case according to our African beliefs or African spirituality. We believe that all disease are curable. Even when you talk of disease like epilepsy, those diseases are curable. Every disease, even all those ones that I've mentioned now, those diseases can be curable because there's no disease that cannot be cured. It's just that the particular sector of people who are controlling the world, and some of the diseases, they are created in the laboratory so that they will torment us, so that we can keep on buying drugs from them, and they make profit out of us. Because these days, these things have become a profit. And you find a big organization like the World Health Organization that sometimes it's being sponsored by the very same people who are making the drugs. And these people, they want profit. They want each and every country to have a large number of chronic patients who are depending on medication for their survival. Yet the Creator has given us trees that through plants we shall live. Even those who believes, I know that we have got people who say they are Christians. Some of them, they say they cannot take muti, they cannot eat muti, they cannot take it at all. But even their Bible, when they say, when in the creation, it says you must eat all the plant and find life in them, because life is hidden in those plants, and those plants are capable of curing each and every disease that we have. You know, even we can talk even of gangrene, that one, that wound that is not curable for diabetes, where some people, they've been cut, their legs have been cut off because of gangrene. That thing is also curable, 100% curable, and there is not even a one reason at all that people's legs must be cut off. There's no reason at all, but it's just that people, they don't have confidence in us as African. But let's just go back. We check here in Africa. Africa, it's one place that is highly, highly, highly blessed. We are highly blessed in Africa with trees. When you check Africa, trees, and you check Europe, Europe doesn't have plants. Most of the trees, when you check in their bush, they've got pine trees, which means they're so limited when it comes to plants. So sometimes it makes a reasonable sense for them to depend on drugs. But to us Africans, there is no reason at all that we must depend on drugs, because we have got so many plants, especially to those people who are living in the low veld, especially the Mpumalanga area, the places which are hot, because plants, trees, they like a place that is hot. Those people are highly blessed with plants, and those people are not supposed to be on any chronic medication. These people are supposed to be healed and depend on the plant for their healing. But some people, they don't have even any confidence in anything that is African. And that's why even during the so-called COVID, we remember that there were some other people who came with solution, even in countries like Madagascar. And I remember one came from Lesotho claiming that also he has got a solution to heal the so-called COVID. But those people, they didn't take them serious because we as African now, we have been tuned to always expect a solution from Europe. And Europe is the one that creates problems for us. And some of those diseases are created by them to make profit out of those diseases. But then, but at the same time, we look for a solution from them. And then when they say they give a solution, they declare that disease incurable and give us medication which we have to take for the rest of their life. And while we take that medication the rest of our lives, to them it's a residual income. They're making income because they know that in South Africa, maybe we have got 5 million people who are diabetic. We have to live on our medication. They know that that is good profit. And another thing, some of the things that are causing some of the disease, it's our lifestyle, the type of foods that we eat. Because the food that we eat these days is junk food. And this junk food that we eat are the one that creates the disease. And we are being fed those type of food so that we will depend on the drugs, you see. Because if you can eat very well, eat foods that has got a balance, a healthy food, especially some of herbal foods. There are foods that are most herbs, but it's an unfortunate thing that most of the African food which are herbal, we have forgotten them. Today, when you talk about eating healthy, we are talking of eating vegetables, maybe cabbage, carrots, beetroot, spinach, maybe all those things, onion, whatsoever. But all those things, at the end of the day, they don't originate from us. They are foreigner from us. They cannot be as good as the indigenous food that we were eating before these people came. You know, it's a pity that even now you come to Africa, you won't even find an African restaurant. You know, in Soweto, you will find people saying that they are selling African food. When they're selling African food, they're talking of dumpling and mkhulu, then they say it's African food. That's not African food. African food is far diverse and very healthy. But to them, once they sell mkhulu, which is the insides of a cow or a sheep, then they say they're selling African food. It's a pity because we have got different type of variety. You can get a Portuguese restaurant, Chinese restaurant, Indian restaurant, whatsoever nation they've got, Italian, whatsoever. But when it comes to Africa, where you are in Africa, you cannot find an African restaurant that sells proper foods because this body were meant to eat proper food, our real food. I remember there's a herb that we eat. My grandfather taught me about it, which is called inkaka. It's more common in Mpumalanga. It's mostly eaten by Matonga, Emaswati, I think the vendor and the like. He once told me that, you know, if you eat this herb, you eat it at least 3 times a week. I guarantee you that you can clock 90 years alive, and you can live beyond 90 years. And again, you won't have all these so-called diseases that we have. And it's indeed true because he himself, he lived beyond 90, and even his wife, my grandmother, lived beyond 90, and they were eating the very same herb. And they lived, and all of them, when they died, they didn't have the so-called chronic disease. My grandmother and my grandfather didn't have what you call this thing, diabetes and all these lifestyle diseases, arthritis, all this BP and all the like, all these diseases, which they come also because of the type of foods that we are eating, and they produce these diseases, and these diseases they produce a market for for those people who are selling the drugs. They produce a market for those people who are selling the drugs. That's why if a person maybe today is taking BP drugs, and I'm telling you that after some time that person will have arthritis. After some time that person will have diabetes. Because even those drugs themselves, they create another disease in a person. It's not that people, they don't even read what they call it side effects, because these things, they have so much side effects that they create other disease within us, which means while we are taking them, they create profit for the very same company, because in that very same company, they will give you drugs for BP, and then as you are taking drugs for BP, and then you must know that in the future, you will also take drugs for arthritis. As you are taking drugs for arthritis, you will also take drugs for gout. As you are taking drugs for gout, you'll take drugs for diabetes, which means you become their market, because they've got no intention of healing you. That's why they just like to create and say diseases are incurable, they cannot be cured. But let me just tell you, wherever you are, that there is no such thing as an incurable disease. All diseases have got a plan to be healed. If they fail to heal a disease, then they declare a disease incurable. Then they say no one can heal the disease. But we find that maybe, especially we native healers, we can heal most of the disease that they say they are incurable. As I've mentioned, even gangrene. Gangrene, that wounds that makes people to cut their feet. Most of the several traditional healers, they can heal them. It can be healed. In a short space of time, it can be healed. There's so many diseases that they declare that they cannot be healed. They can be healed. But it's just because once a disease, they themselves, they cannot heal, then they declare that disease incurable. That's why we must up our game as native doctors. We must up our game. I don't like the word traditional healer, because when we say traditional healer, the government like to use traditional, because when they say traditional, they mean something is outdated to them. When they say traditional wedding, they mean that wedding is not relevant. After all, there's nothing like traditional wedding, because even the white wedding is a traditional wedding to the white people. It's traditional to them. You know, you haven't heard white people saying anything for them is tradition. It's as if they have got no tradition, but they do have tradition. It's just that their things, they remain current. But ours is being downgraded and being called that this thing now it's traditional. And that's why the whites normal, they will say something for them. They rather say something that is old. They will say it's classic. And when it's classic, they give it more value. They will say classic music. They say a classic car. When something of theirs is old, they say it's classic. But when it's for us, they say it's traditional. So that's why they will say traditional medicine, because they want to say that medicine, it's not relevant in our times. But now, this medicine has proved to be more relevant. And people, they must know. We have healed people, so many people who have not been able to be healed in the normal hospitals and doctors. But when it comes to us, we heal those people. We heal those people which maybe they were declared that no, with such a disease, it will be not, you won't find a cure at any time. But we believe more in curing a disease, not even making people to live with a disease, but we believe that disease must be cured. So Africans are supposed to be the one that are healing the nations of the world. The people of this world are supposed to come to us for healing, not the vice versa, not that we go to them for it. They don't even have plants, those people. They've got only a pine tree, because their place is very cold. And trees, they don't like a very cold place. If you could see, let me say you are driving around. Once you see a place full of grass and there are no trees, you must know that that place is hot. But once you see, that place is cold. But once you see a place full of trees, then you must know that the place is hot. So their temperature there is very low. it's cold. So because it's cold, they don't have trees, those people. Because they don't have trees, they have to depend on drugs. But for us, it's not, we have put ourselves in their shoes, in which we are not supposed to be in their shoes. Because for us, we have to depend on trees, because we are blessed with trees. Nature has given us trees. We've got trees that can heal almost all not almost all disease can be healed using the trees that we are given by nature. We are supposed to be more depending on ourselves. You know, sometimes I feel very painful when I see people, these legs have been cut off. I say, these people left, they have been cut off. They know, if they knew that Mother Nature has given us tree that was going to heal that wounds. Some of our people, they die, they die. Some have been deceived, especially those who are religious people. Say, asisenzi lezi zinto. Asisebenzise lezi zinto. I feel pity for those people. After all, some people, they say, bona, they don't use muti. There's no person who cannot use muti. Because if you eat beetroot, you must not, beetroot is muti. If you eat carrots it's a muti. It's digged outside. If you eat onion is also like muti. So if you say, because you're a Christian, you don't eat muti, what do you mean? Because all plant, the word muti, it means a plant. If you say you don't eat muti, it's a plant. The other name of calling muti, it's a plant. When you're talking about muti, not lower muti lawyer, we are talking of a plant. Umuti, it's a plant. Indlula miti. Ngasikhuluma ngendlula miti sithi something that surpasses the tree. Because umuti, it's a tree. So if a person say, mina umuti angusebenzisi, I just feel pity for that person. And some have even died. We have tried that, wanted to heal them. And I said, no, Bonade, they just only go to the hospital because the hospital is holy. And some of the things that are used in the hospital have been made out of the very same plant, which you refuse to take them raw as they are. So you refuse to take them raw as they are. But at the end of the day, no one can live without taking any plant. So, and imagine those people, I remember that I met one other person, I said was sick. I said to this person, no, fanele ngikwenzele imbiza. And this person said to me, no, I don't take this thing. Then I left that person like that. Again, I came back to the very same person. I said, no, I have to prepare you some herbs. And then he said, no, you can prepare the herbs for me. But then I realized that the problem the person had was the language I use. When I call it umuti, in his own language, it's evil. But when I call it in English and say it's herbs, when it's herbs, it becomes nice. That's what Christians normally they like. To them, you must say, I want to give you herbs. When you say to them herbs, automatically the tree, it becomes holy. Automatically becomes holy, they can take it. But once what imbiza or what umuti, wayibita nge language yake, what muriana, whatsoever, no, automatically it has become bad, it has become evil. Because why? They have been brainwashed so that they could hate things that are going to heal them. Because trees and plants, they are there for healing of the nation. And we are given by Mother Nature so that you can heal all disease. And let me declare today to each and everyone who will listen to this that there is no disease that is incurable. I know that at another stage I will also talk about the spiritual disease, because what is good about we as healers, that's why we can't be called only herbalists, because we heal people spiritually and we also heal them physically. We don't only concentrate on the physical part, we also heal the spiritual problems, the spiritual part of a human being, which means we have got a holistic healing process, which is the institute that is holistic, because we heal the body, the mind, the soul. We heal the spirit in a person. We heal everything in a person. So, which means we have got a holistic approach when it comes to healing. So, this is what I wanted to talk about today, just to encourage people. That's why there are times when I will be offering classes to teach people about herbs, to teach people about healing, how to heal. Even those initiates that they've been initiated under us, we still going to have a program to teach them to heal almost all disease, because there's no disease that is incurable. We are going to teach them that all diseases are curable. There's no disease that is not curable. We will give solution, because Mother Nature has given us solution to each and every disease, that every disease can be curable. So those who have been initiated and us, we will have even a program to teach them on healing of different diseases, and they will realize that it's a myth that there are diseases that are incurable. All diseases are curable. It's just that people, they don't trust themselves, and everything that comes from us, black people, other black people, they undermine us. They don't take us serious, because they were told that we native healers, we are evil. We are told that we are evil. But to a surprise, we are using the very same trees that were created by Mother Nature, the Almighty. We are using the very same trees. So, and those trees, were they created by the so-called devil? Those trees. We are using the trees which were given by Mother Nature, which were given by nature. And these are the very same trees that we use for healing. And we are using even the same animals, because there is also healings in the animal. That's why when we're teaching about healing, we won't only concentrate on plants also. We will also teach you about how to use animal to heal yourself, because there are animals in different, there are carnivorous, herbivorous, omnivorous, different types of animals. Some are in the sea, some are reptiles, some are different types. You know all those animals. But all those animals, different types of them, most of them can be used for your own healing, whether spiritually, physically. They can heal. Some animals, their fates are the one that can heal your incurable wound. You just put them there in your wound, and your wound simply will be you will be healed. Thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu. Siyathokoza kuba nalesikhathi lesi. Ngithi ndawuwe kinonke emakhosini. Ngiyabonga nje kakhulu to get this time and have this lesson to teach and to encourage people about African medicine and how important it is for them to use African medicine. Siyathokoza bogogo, siyathokoza makhehla. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to learn more about things. There's so many topics, cultural topics, topics ebungoma, African spirituality that I'm still going to teach about. So please subscribe to our topic. Don't forget to subscribe to our topic, so that you won't miss all those topics, and that will teach us even about other rituals that are very important in our spirituality, that we must know about them. So you don't forget to subscribe to our page Sinduna. Siyavalelisa ke umkhulu Ben Themba Silindza. Yavalelisa umafavuke njengedangamane. Yavalelisa isihlahla kasishi. Yavalelisa umntulu kaMgadlela kaNdaba unyanga mthakathi. Yavalelisa uthi kini nonke nje salani kahle nibe nelanga lelihle Sinduna.